Hey everybody, this is Ray Carsillo, and I have the pleasure of talking with Teemu here, and he is the CEO of Virtual Air Guitar, and he's showing us today Kung Fu Live. Teemu, how are you doing today?
Good, thanks. A little bit out of energy because I have been kind of kicking ass and whooping air for 5 hours, but yeah, I'm good.
Now,
Getting into shape.
now, for those of you who may not be familiar with Kung Fu Live, Teemu, can you tell us a little bit about this game and what it's going to be for PlayStation Network?
Yeah, so the name of the game is Kung Fu Live, where the live comes from it being a live video of you inside the game. And what we do, we remove your background, living room background, and just take you and not your friends and put you inside the game world and integrate you with the physics of the game so you can interact with objects and kick rocks on your enemies, etc. And in addition to that, it's just like punch is a punch, kick is a kick, and a jump is a much higher jump in the game world, etc. So that you would actually look kind of legendary.
Now, for those of us who may not be as flexible or as athletic, i.e. me, how does it respond to like any motion or in order to do like powers or to do like a karate kick?
Well, I mean, there are some special powers that while you progress through the story of the game, you learn these powers, and I mean, in the demo there are a few here. So you learn to do lightning and crown shaker and stuff like that kind of empower you even more than the exaggeration of your movement. But we don't want it to be just for athletes, so I mean that's why we want to make the average show look cool as well. And I mean obviously the game is a little bit tongue-in-cheek with the approach, so I mean it's good fun to play and good fun to watch as well, because it's like your personal charisma inside the adventure.
So the physics are a little bit forgiving then, you would say, for the average Joe.
Yeah. But we are trying to kind of aim in kind of not only the casual side of players, but also so there is actually depth in the game mechanics. There are combos. It's not the winning tactics just to go pounding like this, because your enemy learns to block similar kind of attacks, and you need to look for windows of opportunity. So when he attacks and you dodge it really close by, then he doesn't block for a while, and you can build your combos and do more damage. So it works for both, for kind of casual, your mom, dad player, and with a little more advanced as well. So I think.
All right, very cool. Now you mentioned there's powers. We saw a couple, like you said, lightning, ground pound, time freeze. What other powers could we see in the game?
Well, I don't want to disclose that yet, but I mean I think those are going to be the main ones, and the power punch, which also moves you, and then it assists you doing the flips and stuff like you saw, so that you can move inside the game world, which is one of the big problems in camera games. That like, okay, we take you, we put you inside the world, but then again you have 3 meters or less in your living room, and if you walk there, you go out of the camera frame. So how do you solve the problem of moving, let's say 20 or 100 meters inside the game world? And so we have this assisted movement, exaggeration, and every punch and kick also take you towards to that direction. And I think those are actually quite good solutions.
Very cool. Now, just so everybody knows, I'm sweating profusely because I just got done with my own demo, and it does really wear you out. So that means there's obviously other benefits to this game besides just being a fun game, is that you really can work out while playing this game, right?
Yeah. We like to say a disclaimer to the game, which is that you can actually get really fit just by playing a video game, but any resulting six-packs are unintentional. So, I mean, I have lost some weight just demoing the game, and I'm looking forward to losing a couple kilos this weekend. So.
Very cool. Now, of course, there's a big aspect to it that is there's a comic book aspect to it, and just so you know, as you can see here, I got inserted into the game, as you can see by this little shot here, and finally my dreams have come true. I'm on a comic book cover, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in comic books.
Yeah, you're a legend now. How does it feel?
It feels fantastic. I'm going to be completely honest with you. This is like a dream come true, and you can do this in Kung Fu Live. Is that there's like you said, there's a comic book aspect to it where the game actually takes the camera and takes stills of you and inserts you into like panels, right?
Yeah. So I mean, you are the hero of the game, obviously. So you need to be the hero of the story as well, and that's kind of the approach that we have taken to it. That like it creates a comic book story of you and takes a few snapshots and then acts it out. And
Very cool. Now, what can you tell us a little bit about the plot of this game besides just kicking butt?
Well, I don't want to disclose too much yet, but I mean, in short, it's kind of like you start from a normal world, and things start happening, and suddenly you find yourself fighting with the gang for some weird reason that they are looking for something, and you start noticing that you have powers, and you have started your progress into a kind of ancient Chinese kind of kung fu story that takes you also to a fantasy realm of powerful creatures. I'll leave it at that.
Now, how many levels can we expect to go through in Kung Fu Live?
There's going to be 9 or 10 levels, yeah.
So how long do you think that it might take a person to get through a full game of Kung Fu Live?
It's not going to be as long as it's not going to be like 8 hours. It's going to be something like 2 to 3 hours maybe. Mm-hmm. But there are also custom fight modes and like survival mode that you just like how many you just fight until you die basically, and you just want to progress as far as you want. And then there's in the custom fight mode, your friends can control the enemies with gamepads. So, for instance, kids can kick their dad's ass on the gamepad while he's like having a hard time as a video character there.
When can we expect to see Kung Fu Live on PlayStation Network?
In the end of the year.